Today we're gonna be doing a lot of sawing. We've got a guy that's come out with a portable sawmill that's gonna saw some stuff. It's early in the morning, it's foggy. We've got a lot of work to do. It's gonna be a full day worth of work trying to cut up these huge pine logs from where we logged last year, guys. Stick around and see how it goes. Guys, it's an early start this morning. We've got a lot that we've got to get accomplished. We actually had the farm logged as part of a family decision that we made about a year ago now. And as part of that, we left quite a few logs that we were gonna have sawed up later on. My brother and I are gonna have them sawed up so that we can build shelters with, we can do whatever we need to, because that is true quality lumber, you know, to be rough cut lumber. We can use it for all kinds of stuff on the farm, building shelters, building barns, that type of thing. But we've got to get it sawed up. Now, I don't know how much we're going to be able to film today. I'm going to try to get as much of it as I can, but it's going to be a lot of hard work. We've got to lift all this lumber up, get it onto the sawmill. These are some really big logs. Some of them are 3-4 foot in diameter. That's some pretty massive stuff. We've got to get it up onto the sawmill. Then we've got to cut it. Then we're going to have to stack it. So this is going to be a temporary process. Then we're going to have to build a shelter, stack it underneath there to get it out of the rain. That's a whole different thing another day. But today we're going to spend all day today. We're cutting pines and we're cutting cypress. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take this tractor over there to help lift the logs because they're so heavy. It'll probably take 2 tractors and the lifter on the sawmill to actually lift some of these logs. So I'm taking the tractor over there now. We're going to figure out what we're doing.
Now, I thought it might be easiest if I just kind of told you what was happening as we did it. There's a lot of work going on this day, and we didn't have a lot of time to stop and really do kind of commentary while we were doing the work. So this is actually a pretty cool wood miser sawmill. It actually has a lifter on it, so you can kind of see us right now trying to get the bark off of it. The bark tends to dull the blade really fast, so you'll see later on there's actually a bark remover, but we're using these turners that they have there. I don't actually know the technical term, but we use this to lift and roll the log to help, because even with this hydraulic lifter, it just wasn't enough to get it over the finish line on a couple of these really large logs. And he's going to make a first cut at the top here to take some of these knots off, just to get an even starting point. This allows him to have a flat top, and then he'll start turning it a little bit, and that'll allow him to kind of resize it up, move it around on top of the wood mill itself. But you can see this top line is very, very thin cut, and he'll take these knots off. That gives him one straight plane to start working with as he starts then maneuvering the log. And he's done this a lot. He's got a good view and a good idea of how much he'll be able to get out of each log, and also which cuts to make. So this is going to be a throwaway. I might be able to use it later on. It goes into that pile. So now that he's done that first cut, he's going to come back through and start making smaller cuts, and then we'll roll this off, and we stack it up as we're actually doing the day. So there's several of these that go onto this lifter, and it's just kind of a holding place. And you can see he then turns the log onto this flat side. That starts allowing him to start getting 90-degree angles so that he can then make even cuts on the sides as well. If you look on the side of the piece that's laying down on the lifter, it was a live edge, so that means it has all the contours of that wood. But when he starts leveling it off and cutting these flat sides like this, now we start getting into something that's a lot more familiar, and the boards will have a 90-degree cut on the outside edge as well as the top as well, right? So it'll be a normal piece of wood. He'll have to take and saw this live edge, as you see right here, off again, just to get that cut. But we're getting into pieces now there's going to be very little waste on. He stacked up these boards. This is going to be for 2x4s. He's got them set up so that the depth is correct, so it's a 4 inches on each side, and then he comes through at 2 inches and he cuts now 2 boards at a time. These are actually 2x6s. Sorry about that. I thought they were 2x4s, but these were 2x6s. We started stacking those. We'll get some 2x4s here in a minute, but those were all 6-inch cuts that he did.
So after only one of these logs right here, This is how much lumber we got. And we still have the one that's on deck, this large one here, then we got 4 slightly smaller ones, and then several over here. These are Cypress over here. We won't be cutting those up probably today. Spare tire for the wood miser sawmill. We probably won't be cutting up many of these today. We're going to try to get to all of these. So there's several more of those pine logs still down there as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 logs plus the one we already had. So I know you guys are wanting to know how much did we save by cutting up our own lumber, and how much would it have cost if we would have bought this in the store itself. So all the lumber that we're going to show you, you want to see how much that cost. Stay to the end so you can see what we cut and how much that would cost if we bought it in the store.
Now here are the 2x4s I was mentioning earlier that I thought we were capturing, but this is where he's cutting it. We've already got the width cut. Now he's stacked up 3 of these side by side, and so that he can cut 3 at the same time. So when this finishes, 3 2x4s will roll off. We're gonna have to grab it. It's a really choreographed process to try to make sure you're dodging the saw here. So this thing is, it's retracting. One person's grabbing it from one end, starting to pull it. Another person's lifting, kind of stacking them. So it's very choreographed to try to make sure that everybody stays safe, but we're moving and allowing the person that's actually operating the saw to continue unimpeded, right? Because he's where the action is. We're just kind of stacking these things. But we're stacking them so that there's gaps between them on all sides, and then air can get around on the bottom and around the sides to help them dry out. Now this pile of sawdust just got bigger and bigger all the way through the day. We'll show you at the end what it actually looks like. Now here, my brother and I are working together with our tractors to try to move some of these really big logs. They're so heavy, neither tractor can move them. This is how stones would have been used, or would have been moved maybe back in the days where they were building pyramids or just anything years ago. These logs below, these posts, they allow us to kind of roll it and take that weight off and use it to our advantage. We went through countless blades. I think it was like 3 or 4 blades this gentleman went through today during that day to actually make all these cuts. So it's a wear and tear thing on these sawmills, but man, they're pretty amazing to see in action.
It's the end of the day and we have gotten it all done. We had a lot of help today. We had several people. The guy that we hired actually had a helper they brought in, and also we had a family member that we hired as well to kind of jump in and help us out. So those are some of the people you saw probably during the video montage here. But I thought I'd give you just some concept of how much we saw today and what we got out of it. Now here's what we finished with. We have all of these stacks of wood, and this was one day from 8 o'clock until 5 o'clock this afternoon. We sawed all afternoon, took a short break for lunch, but this is what we got out of it. We've got several stacks of 2x4s. We've got 16-foot 2x4s. We've got 10 and 12-foot 2x4s over here as well. And what you see between here, these are actually old tobacco sticks that we repurposed and used as spacers. This will allow air. You can actually see some of the sawdust blowing because it's really starting to get windy out here, but we're going to allow air to get through. It's probably going to rain tomorrow, but that's okay. Shouldn't be a big deal. It'll dry out. That wind's going to come right through here. The air and the sunlight's going to pass through, and it'll help dry this out. These will help keep them spaced so that they don't warp as bad as they would otherwise. So this is actually a huge stack here, guys. These are 16 footers of 2x6s. This will be just fantastic for all kinds of projects we're going to do on the farm. So what we primarily cut up today was pine. This is actually one of the joints of the pine that we had cut up on the farm that's still left. We still have several more of them to do. We just didn't get to them all today. So this is on the smaller end of what we cut today. This one is, I'd say, probably as small as any of the ones we cut. My foot is about 12 inches long. So you can see that there's 1 foot, 2 feet, and then there's another 1/2 foot. So this one's probably 2.5 feet wide. Decent amount of lumber in that one stick alone. Now for the ones we actually sawed up today, some of them were so large that I actually had to get out my tractor, and my brother had his tractor as well, but I was working on it with this one, and my tractor has a lift capacity of about 4,000 pounds, and while it would lift it, it was picking the rear end up on the tractor. Now I have not filled this tractor's tires up with water, so if I'd had some ballast at the back, I think I'd have been much better off. But in this case, it was everything that this Coyote tractor of ours needed, and it was really, really tough to keep this thing from lifting up in the back. Now, in addition, you can still see a bunch of logs behind me as well. These are all cypress, and we only had one of them cut up today. There just wasn't enough time in the day. So these are smaller, but they are really rot resistant. Now you can see we have a ton of this cypress sitting out here. Each one of these is either, most of these are 16-foot joints. Some of them are 12 foot, but like these are all 16 foots. So we've got tons of it. There's more over there, and then another pile over there as well. So there's a lot of cypress here that we can use here on the farm for sheathing, outside, things that are gonna be in the weather, but we don't want to rot. We also have some pine sheathing here that we can use as well. So we put all this on old railroad ties just to stack it up, get it off the ground. But all of this, most of it you can see is 16 foot, but we do have some 10-foot boards and 12-foot boards here on top. Over here, we did more 2x4s and then some sheathing on top here that is of cypress. So we cut one piece of cypress. So this is the cypress. It obviously looks a little different. You can see there's no borehole marks in this. So the bugs have not been getting into this cypress the same way that they've been getting into the pine. So just as a comparison, guys, this is a piece of pine, and you can see here, this is some of these little tiny holes. These are bore holes. So before we cut it, this is where they were boring into the logs that we had laying on the ground. We needed to get them sawed up because we didn't want this to start happening and weakening the wood. So this is already there. It'll stop now that we've got this stuff cut up. But here you can actually see, this is a cross section of one of the holes that's been bored. So you can see that's where they bore in, the larvae eat the wood, and then they hatch, and the cycle starts all over again. So we want to make sure that we get this stuff cut up because we want this to be salvageable. We don't want this to happen all over the place because, one, it makes the wood look poor if you're going to make something, build something with it, but also it weakens it as well. So I thought you guys would want to see what we have from a waste perspective as well. Obviously, when you cut lumber, there's going to be waste. Logs are round, so you can't use every bit of it because boards aren't round, right? And so we use as much as we could. In some cases, we actually have some of our boards that have some slope to them. Those will be fine for things where we're not doing anything we need to finish with. But in this case, I wanted to show you what was waste. We will not be throwing this away. My father actually heats with wood, so all of this will be put to good use heating his home. So there's some of this that might be salvageable as we go through it, but most of it isn't. There's some 2x2s that I'll probably grab in here, but you can see there's some spaces like here where this piece right here was cut just to get a straight line, but it is paper thin almost. It is really, really thin, but it looks like a huge board, but it's just really, really thin. And that's because it was trying to get the saw calibrated so that we could have a clean cut and so we wouldn't have waves in the piece. So that was just trimming it off to make it flat. The rest of this is waste. It's bark in some cases. You can see up here. These are some of those round pieces that I was telling you about. So you can see here that this isn't really good for much of anything. Again, we can use it for firewood, maybe for tacking some stuff up, but generally speaking, this is waste. Now, when you're doing sawmill work, there's gonna be a little bit of waste, but I'm really impressed. The guys that did this did a phenomenal job. For how many logs they cut and how much lumber we got, just to have this amount of waste is really good. They were able to size this up and make it so that we got the maximum amount of wood out of what we had available. Again, this is just a small portable sawmill that they were using, so to be able to get all of this out of it was really impressive. I also thought you guys would like to see the pile of sawdust that we're going to put into our compost as well. So we've got some manure out there, horse manure, that we're going to mix this in from a carbon perspective. That will help it continue to compost at a fast rate, dry it out a little bit, but just look at how much of this there is. This pile is probably 3.5 feet tall, and it's 4 to 6 feet wide in some parts as well. So there's a decent amount of sawdust here that we will be able to work into our compost and again, dry it out. It'll make it even better. This will also help the manure season. Again, as it dries out, it's gonna allow more air to get in there, and that's gonna allow us to use that compost more quickly. There's more over here as well. So this was where the unit was set up. And this, again, while it might be waste to some people, we're gonna use it. All right, so let's talk about how much this really saved us at the end of the day. Now, I'm not gonna count my labor. I'm not gonna count my brother's labor. So this is gonna be stuff that he and I are sharing. So we shared the costs. Our labor was free. We would have done this if we would have been doing other chores around the house. So I'm not charging us for our labor. To get all of this sawed up, the sawmill guys, that was about $600 for a full day's work for a guy, the sawmill, and a helper to do that. Now that we've got the cost out of the way, let's talk about how much this would be worth. Now, if you went out and bought this lumber at a big home improvement center like Lowe's or Home Depot, we've estimated based off how much lumber we have here and the number of cuts, the length of the cuts,
there's probably around $7,000 or $8,000 worth of lumber if we would have bought it. And it's going to be premium lumber. It's not going to be the trash that we get. This is primarily rough cut lumber. It's going to be the full thickness. This is good stuff. And so when you think about it, we spent about $600 all in, but at the end of the day, to get $8,000 worth of lumber, I'd say it's highly worth it. Now, we've thought about actually buying a sawmill ourselves, but that's going to cost $25,000, $30,000. You'd have to saw quite a bit of lumber in order to make that work. But in our case, this was well worth a day's worth of renting a person to come out, do the work, their sawmill, they leave. We don't have the expense of having a sawmill at that point. But it does give us the idea that maybe this is something that we could do in the future, because if you have a sawmill and you have someone who's looking for some of this work to make $600 in a day, not bad, right? At least not for us. So I hope this helps you today as you're trying to figure out if this is something that you want to do as well. The cost is well worth it. We're talking about a 10-fold increase on what your investment is in lumber expenses. So you're going to save all of that. It's a little bit more money up front, but you're going to save way more in the future. Now, you do have to have a place to store all this. We're going to have to put some of this under tarps for a while as it dries out, and then find some spaces under some barns where we can restack things and try to get this out of the weather, because that's key. If you're going to cut all this lumber, you got to make sure you keep it out of the weather while it dries until you're ready to use it. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to get into the tractor, move it, go put it up for the night where we're using it, and also try to get the rest of our chores done. We hope you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to our channel. Helps us out a lot. With that, guys, we hope you have a blessed day. We'll see you next time on the Purpose Driven Homestead.